Hey there, I just found out about a really cool trick to implement day and night cycles in Unreal Engine using a native engine plugin. And I'm just going to quickly show you my setup and what I use for it. So there's this plugin. If you go into plugins and type in sun, it's going to be sun position calculator. It says calculates the sun position based on latitude, longitude, and daytime. And when you got that, you enable that and then restart the editor. And then make sure on the settings inside the content browser that show engine content and show plugin content is both ticked. And then what you're going to do is just type in sun and yeah, just enter sun and you're going to find the content. And so the current setup that I'm using right here is that I'm using the sun sky, which is also part of the plugin. So at path it says sun position, so you can see here. If you want to use your own sky sphere and directional light, you can instead just use this asset. It is the blueprint sun position. And the way this works is that you just pick your act from the scene, and that's going to be your sky sphere. Sorry about that. And yeah, basically, yeah, that's just like how you can just keep using your own sky sphere. If you want to just drop it into your level and just get going with your day, all you got to do is just plop in the sun sky blueprint into your level, like I did. And the really cool thing about this is that it's astronomically correct, at least for our purposes, for gameplay. And the sun position is calculated based on the daytime. So you can see here solar time, which is a property of the sun sky blueprint. If you change this around, the sun is gonna move around accordingly. And so you can take this and go into your level blueprint. The sun sky is basically just my reference, so I can just drag and drop it like so, and that's the same thing. And what I'm doing here is I'm getting the current time and UTC time zone, and it doesn't take in the time of day, but instead it takes in solar time, which right here you can see is time of the day in float. To calculate that is pretty simple. You just take your hour, which if you're using now or UTC now, so just like this, from the math daytime module in Unreal Engine, you can just take the hour and take the minute, divide the minute by 60, and add those two together, convert that to a float, and then pass it in as a solar time. And so, just to illustrate this real quick, in Blueprint logic, I'm just going to save this real quick. Let's say I'm taking this out and just do something like 8 a.m. in the morning and hit play. Just loading a little bit. All right, there we go. So it's a bit of like a morning sun position, right? If you go back here into the level blueprint and change this to, oh yeah, it's in 24-hour format, by the way. So if you just take this and make this to 23, so it's like 11 p.m. in the evening. And play should be nighttime. And there we go. There's also a little star light. But yeah, you can customize and use your own sky sphere with this. again using the sun position calculator instead, but I just use the like the old package, the sun sky. And the way I utilize this in my game is that I take the system time and set that as the solar time. And I do this in tick. And also, after you set these parameters, you want to call update sun, which is an event in the sun sky blueprint. And this is also the case if you're using the sun position calculator blueprint as well. So you always just like set your values and then call update sun. And the time frame that I call this in is event tick. And since this is like runs on each tick, and I don't have anything else inside this level blueprint, and honestly, the sun position doesn't really change that much. I could even have it tick all 10 minutes. But for simplicity's sake, all I do here is just run this whole code in event tick, and under class defaults, you can define the tick interval. So I'm making this to 60 seconds, which is 1 minute, right? And so when you play inside this level, this event tick event is gonna be executed each minute. And this is an operation that isn't as computationally intensive as is running it on each tick. And yeah, that's just the basic setup. And again, I understand why Epic Games doesn't document their plugins a bit more. I just found this by accident, honestly. And it's great though. Sun position calculator, that's the whole thing. Thanks for watching.